Hey, this is Ron. Welcome to Ron's Wood Turning Shop. I've been making some videos and some of the times, not all the time, but sometimes I cut off the end of the video without showing you how to cut the back of the bowl off. So I got two bowls that I've been working on. One of them, well, neither one of them I got on video. One of them I had on video until I got home, and due to operator error, I erased it. I'm not real happy, but it turned out great, and so it still got the back on it, both of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spend a little bit of time and just cut the backs off of them. So y'all stick with me, and we're gonna cut the back off a couple of bowls, and we'll get to look at them anyway. Sorry about the erased video. It's, I don't know. I guess I'm getting old. Anyway, stick with me and let's do it. Okay. So this is my Longworth chuck, and it is a Ron Brown's Best. And it's made for a 16-inch swing lathe. And I know people make these, and I really commend them for being able to make one, but I'm not real good at flat stuff, so I bought it. I think it's a little over $100, but I'm gonna put it on the lathe and I'll show you how that. It's simple. You can see the back. It's set up to fit on some jaws of a chuck. No big deal. Alright, so all you really got to do is open up the jaw so this thing will fit on there. And there it goes. And then you just tighten it up. And you can see once you got it on there that it'll expand and contract. So no matter what kind of bowl or size, it won't go all the way to 16, and it won't go smaller than that, but whatever. So, typically around this area right here is the way I work anyway. So the first bowl we're going to put on there, and let me show you. I've been on a Mardi Gras bowl kick lately, and that is pyrography burned lines, and then I colored it with permanent marker, and then it's just got a coat of lacquer over it, and I'll wax it up, buff it later, but I got to cut this back off. So I'm just going to put it on there, get it up tight, and I normally start out with my tool rest up against it, just so I get it flat before I tighten it up. Get it all adjusted for my tool. And then let me get my live center. And then I just bring my tool rest up so I can hit the middle and give it a little pressure. That smashes it on there, and then just tighten them up. These little butterfly nuts, tighten it up, go completely opposite, tighten it up, then go halfway, 90 degrees, tighten that up. Now I'm just not tightening them completely right now, I'm just snugging them up. And then once you get 4 of them, then you can just go around and around, over and over and over, until you get them all snugged up. Now the thing with this one is that they recommend you don't go over 600 RPM. And I found I can do most anything with 500, so I'm well within the safe operating limits. And all I'm doing back here is turning a wing nut, and I'm pushing on it just so I don't have to put an Allen head right here to hold it. Just a little finger pressure, and you can get it pretty tight. And once I get them snugged up all the way around, then I can start turning on it. Now at this point I usually take my live center off and get it out of the way. Put my tool rest up, and it's tight. It ain't going anywhere, but trust me, don't go over 500 RPMs or so. So we'll start out at 300. 400, 500. And it depends on what kind of mood I'm in, on what I'll use to take the bottom off. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a go with my 1/2-inch bowl gouge. I'm a little high off center, so let me lower that down a little bit. And I want to be right about in the middle. And you just don't put a lot of pressure on it. So let me get things going, and I will cut the bottom off. Okay, at this point right here, I have the bottom removed, and if you hold a tool up to it, it's a little bit concave, so I know it's going to sit on the bowl all around this edge here. Now, at this point, you can leave it smooth, or you can just cut you some lines in there and make it, you know, rings or whatever you want to do. You can use a texturing tool and go around and make a pattern. I don't have one, but I'm gonna get one. So you can put little swirls or whatever with one of those tools, or you can just sand it like it is and finish it and call it good. And so in this case, I'm just gonna sand it like it is and call it good. Alright, so another thing, you don't have to have a pneumatic sander. I mean, these is cool, I like it. But they make electric ones that do just as good a job. Probably last just as long. You gotta oil this one every now and then. But it just sounds cool. So let's sand it. Okay, so it's sanded. So I'm just going to wipe it off and put a little bit of shine juice on there. And you can turn it on. You don't have to. It's just a bottom coat. But I can get it pretty smooth just rubbing around. But when it's spinning, don't try to come up the sides. You'll catch these things right here. Don't ask me how I know that. But I do. So, bottom cut off number 1. Let's go for number 2. Oh yeah, I should show you how to take it off. Not a problem. Just go backwards. And it doesn't matter about the just one at a time, just loosen them up. And I always loosen them up a little more than necessary because their wing nuts are easy. That way it slides real easy. Just go all the way around. And then just, wait a minute, one of them I must have missed. Ah, here it is. And here. Alright, so just open it up and you have the bowl. Bottom's cut off. Now I can sign it and fling it. So let's go for number 2. Alright, so this is bowl number 2. And this is sinker cypress, and I was really proud of this one. The guy gave me this tree. It washed up on the banks of the Mississippi River. 80 foot, I don't know, 60, 80 foot, big, gigantic. Well, he gave me the cutoff of the end of it, and it was almost rotten anyway, and then the termites got to it, and I know you can't hardly see, but I got holes all in this thing. And I struggled with it just to keep it from flying apart. There is a lot of CA glue holding this one together. And it's got about, I don't know, 5 coats of lacquer on it. But I'm going to take that bottom off. Same procedure. Just open it up, stick it on there, and tighten it up. I'll tighten up 2 of them. And then I'll bring my tailstock up and smash it up really good. And then I'll tighten the rest of them. And again, I'm going to get about the right height, get it out of the way. A little pressure. Now I know it's solid, so when I tighten it up, it'll stay solid. So let me get that tightened up and then we'll come back. Okay, I got them tight. But the difference between this bowl and the other bowl is that it sticks out a lot further. So when you're putting pressure on it, it's putting more force on these edges and it's more apt to come out. So I'm going to leave my tailstock up and cut it all the way to where I just got a little piece of wood that I can cut off with my little handsaw or Dremel tool or whatever. But I don't trust them when they stick out more than a few inches. Like this one's almost 5-6 inches out. So I'm going to leave my tailstock up. And that way I know it won't come out the side. And I can put a little more pressure on it while I'm cutting this bottom off. So let me get set up and we'll do that. Okay, on this one, I'm going to use my carbide cutoff wheel because I don't have to put a lot of force on it, and I'll finish up the smooth part with other tools. I got a scraper I can use, but this one here I can just barely touch it and it's going to cut wood off, and I don't have to worry about overpowering this connection. So don't start it right at 500. You want to start it off about 200 and then bring it up slow. So let me get it going. Okay, so let me just say, this is my way of doing it because I'm a chicken. But I got most of the bulk of the wood off now with that carbide tool. So now I'm going to go in there with my a super sharp bowl gouge and make me a little concave bottom and cut this little cone down till I can just like break it off, and then I'll sand it off from there. But that's just my way. I'm just chicken like that. Because I've had them fly off of here and it ain't fun. Okay? Alright, so let me get going again and we'll get it down. Okay, so I had like a little episode here. Half of this little thing busted off. So in this case, I wouldn't go any further with tools. I mean, I got it smooth up to this spot, and I can work on it a little bit more. But I'm going to saw that off. And that's the safest way of doing it because I spent a lot of time on this bowl. So let me saw it off. Now, I'll fix that. So I'm going to use my little square carbide bit because I just barely got to push to get that smooth. And it's on there tight, so we'll give that a shot. Back it down to 3. Start it up. 4, 5. Yep, a little high. There we go. And then just barely touch it. I'm hardly touching it. Just barely touching it. And this will smooth it out pretty good. And I'll sand the rest. And I can look at it and see that it's not bulging out, so I'm good. So I'll just slow it down, sand it, and finish it like I did the other one, and I'll be back. Put a little shine juice on there. Now the problem with this one, this bowl is full of termites. I got holes all in it. I got holes in the bottom. I wouldn't recommend eating cereal out of this one. But, nice. I like it. Oh, see them white spots? That is petrified termites. Let me zoom in on that. Let me get you closer. Here we go. That is CA glued termite. I'd hate to be him. Okay. So, sorry for such a short one, but been out of town all week. And I was really upset that I lost all the video on making this termite infested sinker cypress, but at least I got to show it to you. So, and maybe I taught you something on how to put one on one of these Ron Brown Longworth chucks. I like it. I like it a lot, but it's limited. Don't get me wrong, it's very limited as far as the size of the bowl that it'll hold. But for my purposes right now, it's working really well. So thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for subscribing, liking, share it with your friends, and I'll be back with another project. So y'all have a great day, and thank you.